welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing the first time tag. I decided to do a tag video today because it's really quick. I'm at my parents' house, so I'm here filming in their bedroom. I'm currently shooting a lookbook right now, so that has to be going up next week, I hope. And I'm trying to keep consistent with my upload, so every Friday I try to upload around 9 p.m. Philippine time. I don't know what that is in other countries, but I try to upload then, and I've been consistent for 7 weeks now, so I don't want to break my streak. So enough with this long intro. I'm just going to jump into the questions. Here's the questions, and I'll have them down below if you want to do this tag as well, so I'll just read them off now. First person you subscribe to on YouTube, MacBarbie07, which is Bethany Moda. She was MacBarbie07. I followed her in 2010 according to my YouTube list. She was the first one I subscribed to, and after following her, I found a whole beauty community, and I've been watching for 6 years now consistently, I think. First Facebook profile picture. Here it is. I don't know what it is, but if it's awkward and embarrassing, here you go. Here's a little snippet of that. I have 2 Facebooks, but I'll put my personal Facebook picture here because that's the one that came first. And here it is. I hope it's good. I haven't seen it yet, but I hope it is. Do you still talk to your first love? No, but I do follow him on Instagram and keep up with his life. Not because I like him still, but because I follow old people that I went to high school, elementary with on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. First alcoholic drink. New Year's a few years ago, my cousin gave me something like a fruity vodka drink, and it didn't really taste like alcohol, so I had a lot of them. But I didn't get drunk, but I did, like, the fireworks did like seem really cool that night, so maybe I did. First job. My first job was a receptionist at a ballet company. So I worked for Ballet Philippines when I was a junior in college, so I was 3rd year. It was part of my internship, but after my internship I applied for a job there and worked there and did ballet classes with them. What was your first car? My first car was a Hyundai Elantra, so I still have it. I got it for my 19th birthday in 2012, so I still have the car, so it's almost 5 years old. And I learned to drive in it, and yeah, so I still have it. It's in the garage that way. Who was the first person to text you today? And if I go to my text messages, I have one from my Globe company, and it says that there was a promotion coming up. So Globe texted me. Globe always texts me. So whatever network you are, Globe, Smart, whatever, I have Globe and Smart, so they text me. Oh, those are the 2 phone companies in the Philippines, if you didn't know. Who is the first person you thought of this morning? I didn't really think of a person this morning because when I first got up, I had my dog on my feet, so she was right there, so she was the first one I thought of, so I wouldn't like stretch and kick her off my bed. Who was your first grade teacher? So this is a long, funny story, and I just told it in another clip, but that got cut off, so I'm going to do it again. My first grade teacher was my mom. So I went to this really small private school. My mom applied to it when I was like 4 years old, so I took preschool there and all the way up to 1st grade. Since there was only 4 teachers, my mom was the first grade teacher, so she became my first grade teacher. So my mom was my first grade teacher, which I don't know if some kids have it, but mine, I guess so. Some schools you can do that, some schools not. And since my school was really small, I had no choice. And she didn't like give me any favoritism or anything. She always put me in timeout because she wanted to show the people that she didn't have favoritism. And yeah, I didn't really get good grades with her, so she was really tough on me. And I would always tell my dad, she's being mean to me, she's being mean to me, and yeah. So that's that story. But she was my first grade teacher. I used to call her Teacher Mommy. She still gets a kick out of it when and tells all her friends. And when someone asks me, oh, who was your first grade teacher? She would say, oh, I was. And then she would tell all the stories and say she would always put me in detention or something because I was a bad girl when I wasn't. I clearly wasn't. Where did you go on your first ride on an airplane? So my first ride, I was born and raised in the States, so I came here to the Philippines when I was 2 years old. Back then it was still legal, and dads could put the kids on the plane, so my dad came, put me on the plane. But still, I cried the whole 18-hour flight, so people probably loved me. So it wasn't really fun. I don't really remember it, but all I know is I was 2 years old. It was my first time on a plane and I wanted my dad and didn't want to go with my mom. Who was your first best friend and do you still talk? I have two best friends, so we don't really talk anymore. That's a song. I really want to sing that song right now. We don't really talk anymore. So first one was Audrey. We met at dance school and then she moved to that tiny private school I was talking to you about. And the second one was my mom's co-teacher's daughter, so she became my friend. She's a year younger than me, but we were in the same grade. So her name was CJ, and a couple of years ago I talked to Audrey on the phone. I found her on Facebook and I called her and we caught up, but I haven't talked to her since. And CJ I still follow on Facebook and my mom still talks to her mom, so I don't know if it still counts, but they were both my best friends when I was growing up. Where was your first sleepover? So my first sleepover was at CJ's house and all three of us went. So me, CJ, and Audrey. We all went to CJ's house and I'm a bit of a crybaby, so I didn't really want to like sleep over at their house, but I kind of like, I wanted it for fun. And then when it came to the sleeping part, I wasn't used to sleeping at anyone's house, so I would like cry to sleep and then the next day it would be fine and then we would all play again. But I was such a crybaby, and one time Audrey had slept over at my house and she cried until we had to take her home too. So yeah, I guess we were both like crybabies, so that's why we get along. CJ was the tough one. She could stay over at anyone's house. What was the first thing you did this morning? First thing I do pretty much every morning is open my phone. I don't know, I think everyone has that. So the first thing I do is when I wake up, my phone is right beside me on my desk, not my desk, my side table. So I just grab it, check my emails, check my to-do list for the day, and then go on to Twitter and scroll until I have to get up. So when I have to go somewhere, I have to hide my phone or something, or else like I'll stay in bed for like an hour. What was the first concert you ever went to? So a couple of months ago I went to my first concert. I went to go see Little Mix in May. So I filmed a vlog about that and talked about that. And if you want to watch the concert too, I filmed it. It's like a 40-minute video, so you can watch that either here or here. I don't know where the card pops up. First broken bone. I've never broken a bone, and since my parents' headboard or footboard is wood, I'll just knock on that. So I haven't broken a bone. I thought I broke my hip bone. So I thought I dislocated my hip and cracked it. But fortunately I didn't, and it was just the muscle. I like strained the muscle too much in ballet class, so that's like the closest I have ever gotten. First piercing. I got my ears pierced at not 3 years old, but 3 months old. At 3 months old, my mom took me to the doctor and got my ears pierced because she wanted me to be a girl, and I guess she was not against like having my own decision, so she just pierced my ears, and ever since then they've been pierced. I don't have earrings on today, but they're still good. They're perfect areas, and I have no problem with them closing up. First foreign country you've gone to. As I said, I was 2 years old and I went to the Philippines. First movie you remember seeing? The first movie I went to see was The Rugrats. So some of my mom's Filipino friends back when we lived in the States had a group of people and kids my age, and then we were having a movie night, so we went to this big theater. It probably wasn't so big, but I was like 5 years old or something. So that was like the first movie I watched, and I still remember like the dinosaur in that movie. Like, since we don't have like pictures or videos of that day, I'm remembering it from my memory, because sometimes my dad filmed my whole life as well. He was vlogging back before it was a thing. So I think I'm remembering it from my memory, not from any videos or anything. When was your first detention? My first detention was with 2nd grade. I was in 2nd grade and I kicked a boy in his area. So I kicked him in his area. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I kicked him in his area because I had like 2 big ponytails like that. So when he kept on pulling it and pulling it, I think back then when a boy pulls your pigtails and like bullies you, he likes you. So I did not know that, but I hated that, and I would cry every day to my mom like, I don't want pigtails, they keep on pulling it. And yeah, so one day I got annoyed and my mom told me to fight back. What advice? I have no idea why she told me to fight back. So he pulled my ponytail real hard that day, and when he stood out, I just kicked him. I didn't mean to kick him in his area. I didn't know boys had that back then. I didn't know that was painful to them, but I just kicked wherever I could. And I had those big clunky shoes on. Like, I went to a private school, so I had those big clunky shoes, and I kicked him, and I was sent to the principal's office, and he was sent to, and we had to apologize to each other. And I don't know if my parents know about that, but yeah. It's a real funny story, and looking back at it now, it's real funny, but at the time I was so like scared and embarrassed, and yeah. And then the second detention I got, I think I only got like 2 or 3 detentions. I thought I was a good girl, but apparently I broke the law. I was sitting next to my crush in math class, and we were talking during a test, and you're not supposed to do that, so she gave us both detention, but at least I got to talk to him some more in detention. So my parents don't know about this, so, and they're in the other room, so shh. Who is your first roommate? I've never had a roommate. During college, I commuted back and forth from my parents' place. If you had one wish, what would it be? I don't know. I don't know if you're supposed to wish for world peace, world hunger, whatever. I don't know. If I was selfish, I would wish for something else, but I don't know what I would wish for. I hate questions like this because I have no idea what I wish for, like anything. I don't know what I would. For everything to be happy and healthy, just my whole family to be happy and healthy. I know, what a generic wish, but that's my wish. What is the first sport you were involved in? So I was involved in dancing my whole life. I've been doing ballet since I was 3 years old, ballet and tap. So I've done it all: ballet, tap, jazz, hip hop, lyrical, point, all of it. I've done it. If you consider that a sport, that was the first sport I do. I consider it a sport because it's really hard work. And the next, I did cheerleading 5th and 6th grade. That's not really a sport because it was elementary cheerleading, and all we did was say go, fight, win, and that's it. That really wasn't, like, I didn't do the high school like dance team or whatever, so no. But in 6th grade, I actually did tennis, since my 6th grade teacher, her brother came over. He was a tennis instructor, and after I fell in love with it, I made my mom enroll me in the summer class. So after the summer class, I gave up on tennis. It was really hard, and doing tennis like in the hot summer weather in like Southern California is brutal. So yeah, I don't really recommend it. I at least I experienced it, but after that, like, I moved back in with ballet and tap because that was easier for me, and it was in an air-conditioned room. What is the first thing you do when you get home? So this is the last question. The first thing, honestly, the first thing I do when I get home is plop on the couch, and that's it. If I am like feeling like I still have enough energy, I will put like the footage I shot from that day or my blog pictures. A cat just jumped on my ceiling. When I feel like I have the energy, I plug in my memory card and import the footage or the blog pictures I shot from that day. If not, I'm just gonna be lazy and plop on the couch and watch whatever is on TV. So that was all the questions. I hope you learned a little more about me, and if you want a if you want a story time video, a longer version of anything I talked about, just let me know in the comments. I'd love to do one. I love watching story times. I don't know if my life is that interesting to do a story time on something, but if you'd like to hear like more about my stories, I'd love to tell them. And yeah, so I upload a video every Friday. I've been consistent for 7 videos now. I upload 9 p.m. Filipino time, so not actual late Filipino time, but the actual where I am, it's 9 o'clock is when it goes up. So yeah, I've been enjoying filming videos, and even though it's really loud and obnoxious filming in my parents' room, I'm just going to deal with it. So subscribe if you haven't already. I'm so close to 200 subscribers, and it would make me so happy if you subscribed. Like this video if you want to see more, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye everyone!